Hey, it's time to talk about COVID reading. Well, not reading about COVID, but reading during COVID. And I have books from Provincetown authors this time because Provincetown, where I live, is also the first arts colony in the United States, started by Hawthorne, and then Eugene O'Neill and a bunch of other writers came here. So it's traditionally a place where writers come, although, not everybody's as great as everybody else, but a great writer. And if you're into short stories during this like hard concentration time during a pandemic, check out Michael Cunningham's A Wild Swan. It's his version of fairy tales. So he's taken fairy tales that he liked as a child and twisted them into modern day. And of course they were written before COVID, so the mask thing isn't an issue. So it brings you back a little bit to regular times. But they're not all like happy endings. They're sort of Grimm's brother-ish in the way that he ends them and tells them, but they're beautifully written and a little bit dark, definitely funny. And Michael lives here in the summer. Check it out. Next, if you're looking for something hilarious, because I always need to add that, plus most of my books are funny in some kind of way, we have John Waters' Role Models. Now, this book is hilarious. It talks about all the people that he looks up to, from Little Richard, which is where he got his mustache from, to Lady Zorro, who is this like crazy lesbian butch stripper in Baltimore, who by the time Waters actually saw her perform, she didn't even bother to strip anymore, he says. She just came out naked and screamed at everybody. This book is hilarious, and it sort of runs the gamut on people that he's sort of been influenced by, which, I mean, it's John Waters. It's like talking to him too. It's really fun. Then Dennis Johnson, who's a poet. If you like poems, grab Incognito Lounge. If you've never heard of that, that's probably his most famous collection. I love it a lot. But his first novel, called Angels, was written when he lived in Wellfleet, which is a couple towns down from P-Town. He was a fellow at the Fine Arts Work Center, got married to or lived with another fellow who was a painter, a woman, and they moved to Wellfleet. And while he was in Wellfleet, he wrote this book. This book's crazy. It's about this woman who runs away from an abusive husband with her 2 kids, gets on a Greyhound, just goes, and ends up in all sorts of crazy situations. If you like Hubert Selby or, anybody like that. Hubert Selby, who am I thinking of? Hunter Thompson. Anybody strange and unusual and disturbing, this book is really amazing. I've read it a bunch. And finally, to get ready for the winter, pick up Norman Mailer's book, Tough Guys Don't Dance. Takes place in Provincetown, and it's a mystery, and it's disturbing, especially if you read it in Provincetown during the winter. Really freakish, so check it out. And after you read it, check out the movie, because the movie, which the library here has, is hilarious. It's so bad or good, depending on what you think of stuff. So those are authors from Provincetown. Go for it and read away.